Well, how would you describe your ideal reader? I mean, who is your audience? And then how much are you thinking about them while you're experimenting in that first drafting phase? Give us a little insight there.
So the more I've done this, the more this reader thing becomes it's really in the editing that starts to really affect me, because it's like I'll go back to my engineering world, and what I found that um, most of the people that worked in engineering, it was a job, and many, what we were engineering, like whatever machine it was, we never used the machine. Like, you understood kind of technically how it worked, but it wasn't like you were the operator of the machine. And so I always thought, like, it's like I read this book years ago from a professor from Harvard, and he said like something like 90% of new products fail. And I kind of started to realize, well, they fail because, and then we go back to the Steve Jobs world of, well, I just do things that I think are cool. Like, how would you like to make a tick in the universe, right? And it becomes very partly is that the design has to really come from your heart to be even close to where that's coming from. And so that's when I brought into the stories. I started like Apple. I don't know whether they do it now, but they didn't even used to do customer review meetings. Like, what does the customer want? Like, that wasn't even part of their picture. They just did.
That's shocking. That's shocking.
Well, in today's world, it was shocking. It's very shocking when I was working, but it was a very different perspective. But when you looked at what new products were coming out, I mean, we're going back 15 years, iPods, they were the iPhone, they had the iMac, and Apple went through a lot of different activities. But the concept I always loved kind of from the writing perspective, and I've heard several authors say this, is that I have to like the story. So when you talk about the reader, I tend to be, I'm the reader. And if I'm not interested in it, it doesn't, and that's where I said sometimes, like, I don't know how to sometimes answer that, because obviously I don't have anything if I don't have a reader, but I also have to be very intrigued by what I'm writing about. And so that's kind of my first end reader. When we get into the editing, I'm much more aware of it, because now you can get into areas where they're just boring, because you have intricacies that you as the author want to add, but they don't really add to the story. And again, we come back to how important that editor is, and a professional editor, like not just your best friend who likes to read books, but someone that does it for a living and knows what they're looking for. And that has become very important to me, because I still do it, but I don't usually see it, George, until 3 or 4 rewrites down the road.
And I think that's perfect explanation of how most artists feel, and really the identification doesn't really ultimately settle in until the band's on the stage and the audience is right in front of them. Then you've got that connection when you're out in the field, you're interacting with your audience. It defines you, you define it. It's a symbiotic relationship. I mean, I think that's
the word.
A very absolute beautiful description you gave there.